Shadi, it's Maria from B&H. We're a little early.
Okay.
So are you ready for your 21 questions?
I got a couple minutes. I'm just getting ready for a photo shoot. But let's go.
Okay.
All right.
We'll go right into it. What are you doing today?
About to do a photo shoot, just like a creative shoot with some creative friends.
And what type of photographer are you?
I am a portrait photographer.
And what got you started in photography?
Honestly, I was obsessed with this girl who was into photography, and I had to be into photography to hang out with her, so.
And what was your first camera? And did it impress her?
My first camera was a Kodak. It was a point and shoot Kodak. And I don't think it impressed her because she had an SLR, so she was already like well beyond where I was.
And what's your go-to camera and lens now?
Now, I shoot Fujifilm. I have the GFX 50S, and I also use the X-T4.
Nice. And what drew you to portrait photography?
I think being fascinated with people's facial expressions and I guess I had like a staring problem, and taking photos of people was a way to look at them when I got home and not stare at them in public, which is kind of awkward for some people, I guess.
So your photography is mainly about being with people outside. How have you been adapting to the pandemic?
During the pandemic, work has slowed down, so the chances to interact with people have slowed down, and I've kind of taken that time to kind of do some self-growth, focus on myself, do self-portraits. So I've really just been connecting with people that I know through like FaceTime and on the phone, but really spending more time with myself.
That's great.
Which I think helps. Having a good relationship with yourself helps you have a good rapport and relationship with other people, which is important if you're a portrait photographer.
Absolutely, and in life in general too.
Facts.
I love that your photography sometimes embraces empty spaces and always has something to draw your attention in. How did you come to master your own style?
I don't think I would consider myself a master of my style just yet, but the empty spaces, I don't know, maybe I'm empty as a person. No, I don't know, I like negative space, and I think that that's good it leaves room for imagination. So I think that's a key part of sometimes what I want to represent in the imagery, like going into the possibilities of what could happen in a room or what somebody may be thinking. So I think that's probably why, if there's space in my photos, that's probably where it originates.
That's great.
Yeah.
And your photography also highlights people of all color, shapes, and sizes. Why do you think it's important to shine a light on different types of subjects?
I think visually we should represent what the world is around us, our surroundings, and kind of put that out versus what somebody's pushing on us or what somebody else wants you to think the world is. So I think it's very important to shoot what you know, document your surroundings, and my surroundings happen to be a variety of different types of people, of shapes, sizes, colors, and all of that.
That's great. You're also a Fujifilm ambassador, right?
Right.
What does that mean to you?
Being a Fujifilm ambassador is like having a fairy godmother. They pretty much have made it their mission to support creatives on whatever artistic endeavors that they want to have. So working with Fujifilm so far, like I've been able to see a lot of ideas that I've had and have the support for those ideas, which is the dopest thing I think a creative could ask for.
That's awesome. You don't only shoot photo, right? You've done some video projects too. Can you tell me about them?
I've done some music videos for some artists like Emily King, who's a good friend, Ro James. I've done some stuff for brands like Versace. I've given creative ideas for like Ludacris videos. So I guess anything visually creative, I'll try to like put my hand in.
That's really cool. And your name isn't coincidentally Shadi, right? What is your real name and where did the name come from?
My name is Greg. That came from my father. And Shadi, growing up, I had a reputation as like a loose cannon. And then, you know, when I think it was in the 9th grade, joined this rap group, and we were like the Criminal Clique. So we all had like mobster names, and then it was, my name was John Shoddy instead of John Gotti. And then it just went from there, but people just call me Shoddy now. The John has dropped.
And it's kind of perfect that now you're a photographer.
Now that I'm a photographer, how you like that?
And so do you have any projects you're working on or coming up?
Always trying to stay busy with stuff. I have some projects that I've been working on for the last couple of years. One is called UPC, which is Unique Physical Characteristics, and I basically shoot people that have scars or, you know, cuts and bruises and disconjointed, you know, things that we would normally look at as like weird. And I'm trying to find a way to show the beauty in those things. And I'm looking for people to shoot that. So if you have something like that going on, holla at me. And then I'm doing something on Instagram called My Camera Bars, which is basically people rapping about camera stuff in the hardest way possible.
Cool. It's all very specific stuff.
These are very specific things for very specific times, because I'm a very not specific person.
Yeah.
So that's the balance.
Okay, switching it up a little bit, what are some tips for somebody looking to stand out as a unique photographer like you?
I don't know. I don't feel like I stand out as much or try to stand out. I just try to do things that are authentic to me. And like nobody could be you how you are you. Like that's the only piece of originality that we have, is to do whatever it is that we want to do. So just do what you want to do. Like that's probably the best advice I could give. Like don't worry about Instagram or think like trends and all of that kind of stuff, because it's just a giant loop, and eventually whatever you're into, that trend is gonna be next in the queue to be popular. So stick with that.
Yeah. Favorite area of New York City?
Come on, man. You already know. BX, baby. Nah, oh yeah, the Bronx, New York all day.
And what has been one of the coolest shoots you've ever done?
The coolest shoot that I've ever done was a photo series for a nonprofit organization called GEMS, which is Girls Education and Mentoring Services. It was a project called More Than a Survivor, where I shot a bunch of super dope, powerful women that are survivors of sexual trafficking and exploitation. And we did a photo series. I shot really cool portraits of them. I got to meet them individually, hear their stories. And the photos were in a traveling exhibit all around the United States. They were displayed in Hartsfield International Airport, and the Delta Terminal, and some other places I can't really remember, but it was like going all around. But that experience was so cool, to meet and engage with such powerful women.
Wow. And what has been one of the most challenging shoots?
That shoot was probably the most challenging shoot, only because there were so many people. Usually if I'm shooting portraits, it's like 1 or 2 people, and it's easy to do research, kind of find their interests. Obviously you know their name, and you find a way to build a rapport with them and kind of just relate to them. But there were like 24 women that I was shooting, so it was challenging to be able to find something to connect with them, while also being mindful of any potential triggers, or just trying to not say something that would get in the way of getting the best image possible.
Sure. Photograph so many different people now. Who has been your favorite story?
People always ask me like, what's your favorite movie, or like, what's your favorite song? And I can never really give an answer because my memory is shot half the time. But then also, I think every opportunity to shoot somebody, or every story that I get the privilege of hearing, is the dopest to me. So just being able to have people share stuff with me is the best in itself. Are you guys thirsty? I didn't offer you any water. You want to get some water or something?
Sure.
Come to the kitchen. I just wanted to flex my Fujifilm stash right here. Each of these is like $100, and I think the blue ones are like $300 on here. But I got a lot of it.
Wow.
And I got it for sale too. Holla at me.
In your freezer?
In the freezer. This keeps it nice and fresh because these expired. This one expired in 2018. Wow. But most of these expired in like 2015. This is the Polaroid pack film, which I did a book called Every 2 Weeks, which is still available for purchase. So go check that out. Every2weeks.photos is the website.
Cool. If you weren't a photographer, what would you be?
I'd be whatever I wanted to be. I don't know. I couldn't see me not being what I want to be now. So I'd have to want to do something else, and then that's probably what I'd do.
And what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received in general is from my father, and he told me that everything is relative and the answer is out there somewhere. So you can use science to solve a math problem, or math to solve a science problem, or everything is related somehow. In photography, I think the best advice that I've ever received is to shoot what you love to shoot.
Yep.
Very simple and very effective.
And aside from your camera, what's your favorite piece of gear?
Aside from my camera, what is my favorite piece of gear? My light meter, which I love so much that I never use it. I idolize it and it sits in my bag untouched. That's how much I love this thing. You don't need a light meter in this day and age because your camera does all that stuff for you.
And if there were to be a movie about your life, who would play you?
Oh, all right, so if you know me personally or we've ever texted, since the middle of 2020, I made a vow to only use Denzel Washington memes. So everything that requires a meme, I respond with a Denzel meme. And yes, it's been sustainable and I'm gonna keep it going until I die. No, it's not. But Denzel Washington will probably play me in a movie, or his son maybe, if he's getting too old. Yeah, oh, you like his son, okay.
And last question, who should we interview next?
Who should we interview next? There's a fellow Bronx native, a photographer by the name of Dondre Green, and he is somebody that I would love, because he's generally not a man of many words, but I would love to hear like his answers to some of these questions. So if you can interview Dondre, definitely hit him up.
All right, that's all my questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. I can get back to my email.
Yeah, I'll fly out of here.
Rudely interrupted. No, I'm just kidding. I loved you guys.